Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes, sir. We are following.
Very good. So if there are any doubts, feel free to ask me by stopping me. Right. Operational excellence. So operational excellence means, imagine there are 25 people in the training program. How many of you are, who are all interested, in learning more and then perform very well in the exam? Obviously, all of you. All of you would like to learn more, practice more, and then implement the learning and perform very well in the program. Let us say I conduct a test, and you would obviously be interested in getting the first rank. If the same thinking, if your company has, then your company is on its way towards excellence, towards operational excellence. That means what I'm trying to say is, like how there are 25 people in the training program, there are hundreds of companies producing similar product, targeting the same customer segment which your company is targeting. If your company want to secure the rank number 1, that means they want to achieve operational excellence. So operational excellence is nothing but the execution of the strategy consistently and reliably better than your competitors. Because there are competitors in any business, any product, any service, isn't it? You are making sure that all your people perform better than the people, with your competitors. As a result, what happens? You will achieve both effectiveness as well as efficiency. What is effectiveness? Your product will meet the customer requirements. All your products will meet the customer requirements. Absolutely, there are no defects in the product. That is called effectiveness. For example, all of you get the green belt certificate and you go back to your company and then drive projects in a fantastic manner. What is it called? Effectiveness. The program is very effective. The program has equipped the people to implement the learning. Right? So effectiveness is important. At the same time, how much time do we consume to train all of you? We consume about 4 days. And how much, how many the resource utilization? We need to achieve the effectiveness with minimum of resources. And the minimum of resources is nothing but efficiency. If I achieve the effectiveness by consuming minimum of the resources, that means I have achieved the operational excellence. And operational excellence is a systematic approach for industrial organization to attain best-in-class performance in terms of quality, in terms of productivity, in terms of delivery of products and services. This is operational excellence. Don't just settle within yourself, within your company. You need to first of all improve on a continuous basis. Better start believing in performing better than how you performed yesterday. And then if you significantly improve, start comparing yourself with some of the leaders in the organization, and then try to go beyond them. That drive is called operational excellence, and it is not that easy. It is a monumental task. Everyone in the organization should be involved. Starting from CEO till the security, everybody should understand the company's goal. And then everybody should deliver their part, and so that the results can be achieved. That is why training is important. That is why approach is important. That is why tools and techniques are important. And in order to achieve this goal, you need to train your people, and then only they can contribute properly. And see here, all associates, anybody who join your company, they must be given some awareness first of all. Awareness on quality, awareness on what is that organization strategy, and then what are at least the quality approaches, quality tools and techniques, and some awareness has to be given. You can call it as awareness or you can call it as white belt. And then project team members, anybody who is involved in your project, he should at least be an yellow belt. His role may be limited, but he should be at least be a limited. Otherwise, his participation will not make any sense. If you have people participating in the project but not doing any contribution, do you think your project will succeed? Definitely it will not succeed, right? So make sure you don't allow anybody below the cadre of yellow belt to participate in your project. And then project should be led by some capable person. They are called green belts and black belts. They are called green belts and black belts. A green belt will generally handle green belt projects and black belt will generally handle black belt projects. How do we differentiate green belt project and black belt project? Project complexity will be higher in black belt project. Project complexity will be low or moderate in green belt project. The scope of the project will be limited to a specific department in green belt project. The scope will get widened to multiple departments. You call it cross-functional projects. So cross-functional projects will be led by a black belt and department-specific projects will be led by green belt, right? And then there will be another set kind of responsibility called master black belt. So master black belt is like the chief advisor to the company. He will work very closely with the top management. He is the one who will develop the KPI and metrics for the company. Key performance indicator and metrics. These key performance indicator and metrics will help the leaders, will help everyone in the company to understand whether company is progressing in the correct direction or not. Right? KPI is a number. Metric is also a number. But there is a difference between KPI and metric. Metric may help you to understand whether the process is running as per the requirement or not. But KPI's role is different. KPI will help you to understand whether the department, whether a unit, whether a department or the whole organization is moving towards the strategic goal or not, is moving towards the goal or not. And only the KPI can help you to understand. All KPIs are metrics, but all metrics may not be KPIs, right? We need to understand. And then, and master black belt will train the black belts and the green belts in the organization. And because training is part and parcel of improvement, without training, making changes happen may not happen smoothly. And then champion. Who is champion? The one who will support the team by providing the resources as per the top management approval. And any roadblock, any stoppages, any struggle the team is undergoing, and the champion will come into picture and then sort it out. Otherwise, completing the project on time is difficult. And again, the project have to be approved by a competent authority. That project approving authority is nothing but the leadership team, and they are now called as sponsor. They are called the project sponsor. These kind of infrastructure of people is very important for drives like Six Sigma or any operational excellence drive, right? And everyone's role, skills at different level are different, and all of them were declared properly in body of knowledge, right? We must respect it, and then we must see to that people are complying to such requirement before identifying them as yellow belts, green belts, and black belts. And then let's understand the difference between the traditional business model and the operational excellence model. In traditional business model, the belief is profit is price minus cost. I sell a product at a price of 100 rupees. My manufacturing cost is 80 rupees. How much is the profit? Profit is 20 rupees. And here, the company strongly believe that better quality means the company should have modern technology. Better quality means there has to be modern machineries. Better quality means we must have highly skilled resources, maybe in our company. In short, when you want to achieve highest levels of quality, then your product price will be high. Am I correct? This is what traditionally companies believe, and this is what is called, traditional business model or classical business model. On the other hand, if you equip your people to believe on operational excellence model, their belief will be different from the traditional belief. Their belief is better quality means better business. Better quality means better business. Automatically business will start happening, right? And better quality means less defects, no non-conformances. Any process at any level produces output meeting the requirements of the specific customer, right? And absolutely no non-conformance. And since there are no non-conformance, there is no scope for rework. You become operationally efficient. And then less buffer. What is less buffer? I keep only minimum resources. I keep resources, only what is exactly required. I never overstock anything, whether it is raw material or finished product, or it is work in progress, or it is the number of employees, or it is the number of machinery, or it is the square feet of space I occupy. Everything, or it is a time I consume. I keep only less buffer. Still, I will be very effective. I will be super efficient. That means, and then all your business process cycle time will be lower. If your cycle times are lower, what will be your lead time? Your lead time will also be lower. What is lead time? The time between order and delivery. Customer places an order and receives the delivery of the item. This time gap is called, the lead time. So, you will be able to run your business very faster. The number of business cycles can be more for a specific period of time. As a result, the revenue will be more as well as the profit will be more. So in short, better quality means lower cost. All of you are able to believe this statement when you are actually, achieving the highest quality, then cost of manufacturing will be very low. All of you are able to recognize and accept the second statement by breaking our, the traditional belief. We generally believe, high quality product, it will cost more. No, high quality product should cost you less. But why high quality product is now costing high? Because I am achieving the effectiveness in a very inefficient way. Six Sigma or Lean Six Sigma is achieving the desired level of effectiveness in a highly efficient way. So that is what we call it operational excellence model. That is why, we are learning all these tools and techniques. So I would like to stop here because you have your lunch at 1 o'clock, and then we can continue this, right? And now I am available. In fact, all of us are available to take your questions on the learning so far.